Shalom, shalom, shalom. I want to give all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rachak Wadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Peace, blessing, and salutations to the hopeful elect scattered abroad, teaching his word in truth and sincerity. I'm back with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai. And today we're going to talk about this virus that came on the scene about maybe a couple days ago, called the Hantavirus. It supposedly originated in Argentina, and you know who's over there. You know, the small hats is over there in Argentina. I believe the president of Argentina is a small hat, but it supposedly broke out in this cruise ship, right? So these are one of the many different type of pestilences we're gonna see in these last days, right? Right now, like we say, things haven't really got bad, right? We see, the spiral. We see things getting worse and worse, but these things are going to get much worse, right? This is the beginning of sorrows, right? The beginning of all hell breaking loose on Babylon the Great, right? So I'm going to read a little bit of this article, go into it, and then I'll get a few precepts, and Lord willingly, this lesson's edifying. So it says, Hantavirus. Patients land in Amsterdam with more cruise ship evacuations planned. 3 people with possible symptoms of the disease were evacuated on Wednesday morning from the MV Honduras before headed to the Canary Islands. It says infected people aboard the MV Honduras, a Dutch cruise ship with a deadly outbreak of Hantavirus, have started to be evacuated from the ship and brought to hospitals in Europe. So this virus is supposed to be a virus that gets contracted by the feces and the pee of, I believe it's rats, right? When ingested, it's supposed to cause these different types of effects in the body, and right. I guess it's supposed to be exposed on a cruise ship. This cruise ship, which we know how these people get down. We know they're planned pandemics. We know what they're doing. These different vaccines that are coming in the earth, that they're using to depopulate. Let's just say that much, right? So we're always paying attention to these things, but like I said before, this is just one of the many different plagues that's gonna hit this earth, right? Hit Babylon the Great, hit this world, So it says, Hantavirus have started to be evacuated from the ship and brought to hospitals in Europe. 2 patients have landed in the Netherlands, where they are receiving medical treatment. According to statements from the ocean-wide expeditions, the Dutch company operating the cruise, 2 of the evacuated patients had acute symptoms, according to the Dutch foreign minister. Another patient was evacuated on a separate flight. The company said that the flight is experiencing a delay and the patient is in stable condition. The company said since April 11th, 3 passengers who were aboard the Hantavirus have died and 5 others have been sickened after showing symptoms of Hantavirus, a rare family of viruses carried by rodents, according to the World Health Organization, right? Most Hantavirus strains cannot spread person to person, but the Honda strain, which has been identified in the outbreak, can move between people, according to Bryce Warner, a research scientist at the Vaccine and Infection Disease Organizations at the University of Saskatchewan, who has extensively researched hantavirus, but the virus does not spread easily, requiring repeated close contact, he added, right? So I said this virus is not, it says this virus is not known to move from people to people, right? But this virus, I guess, it's killed 3 people, right? And it's a number of other people who have been affected by this virus, right? So, hey, every couple months you hear about a new virus, a new disease, a new pestilence. That's just what we see. It's common at this point to hear about new pestilences and new diseases, and we know it's just going to get worse in these last days, man. This is just one of many different scourges the Lord is going to put on the earth, right? So, and let's get to let's go to Matthew 24, going into Yahweh words, right? Because these things were all prophesied to happen in the last days, right? Uh, um, a converging of all these different prophecies will cause Babylon the Great to be in a as they call it, great tribulation, right? In a state of pretty much emergency for America, Babylon the Great, and the world, really, right? The world is going to go through it, but America, Babylon the Great is where these things are really going to shake up, the world, right? This is Matthew 24, and I'm gonna start at 6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrows, right? So it says, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. So this is what we're seeing. We're seeing all these different pestilences. We're seeing wars and rumors of wars, right? All these things are converging, which it points to the end of this kingdom, in the Esau's rulership, because people could say, well, people always said that the end of the war was near. People always said there were wars or there were certain diseases, right? But when has all these things converged together like they are now, right? This is a telltale sign that we're in perilous times, right? And this is really like the calm before the true storm hits, because though we are in the beginning of Jacob's trouble, we're not in the we're not in the thick of it yet. We still have more time to go before shit really break loose. And the real thing is, we don't know when that's going to be, right? We understand when the scriptures say peace and safety, then sudden destruction. So, of course, these elites are going to try to make everything seem as normal as possible until they can't, right? And it's going to just look like an overnight thing where everything is just completely, in turmoil. But really, these things that we see on the earth right now are gradually, getting worse and worse, to where, when these things pop off, it's not like it just happened all of a sudden, right? That's why it says, we are not in darkness. Actually, let me go to that, right? We're going to understand these things. We're not going to be in darkness as the rest of the world is in, right? Thessalonians, I believe it's 4. I think it's 5. This is 1 Thessalonians 5:1. But of the times and the seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you. For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. Right? So, hey, this these different scourges, destructions that's gonna happen on this earth, right? It's gonna happen suddenly, right? When they say peace and safety, then sudden destruction. So these people are not gonna really be looking for these things to come. Like how we're looking at these things, we understand that anything right now, any major event right now can, take us off into the next level of prophecy. Though we can understand that, the people, they don't understand it. So they don't understand how these things are all affecting us in a way where, eventually it's gonna lead to great tribulation in his land, right? They might understand little things, but they're not really focused on the bigger picture. And that's why we are here to be the voice of reason for the people, right? Especially our people, because our people have to know about what's going on. And the rest of the world, they can be in darkness if they want to, right? But the truth is out there. So it says, for then when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, and as a travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. But ye, brethren, are not in darkness, that they day should overtake you as a thief. Right? So, hey, those are the men who are actually watching for what's coming, right? Who are in the spirit. Right? He says that day is not going to overtake us like a thief, like it's going to take the rest of the world, because we're actually spiritually looking and have our eyes open to the signs and the times we're in, right? It says, but you have, brethren, you are not in darkness, that the day should overtake you as a thief. You're all children of light and the children of the day. We are not of the night or of darkness, right? So the Lord has given us that wisdom and knowledge to understand what's going on, right? It says, where there's no vision, the people perish. These people don't have the vision. They don't have the understanding. They don't understand the prophecies. So therefore, they're not going to know how to prepare themselves in that day. But us who are children of light, and we have the wisdom and knowledge that's lighting up our path, so we're not in the darkness. We know what's going on. We can see it spiritually, right? And we understand the end of this kingdom, right? So people in the world understand this kingdom is going to be destroyed, right? It's going to have all types of calamities, pestilences, such as what we've seen in Egypt, right? Egypt was plagued by many different things before we were let go. In this kingdom, it's going to be completely destroyed. And before it's completely destroyed, the second it's about to be destroyed, the elect will be beamed up and they will be taken away from this place so they don't have to partake in that nuclear destruction that everybody else in Babylon the Great who's not protected, that they're going to have to deal with, All right, so let's go back to Matthew 24. I believe I was done with that. Let's go to 2nd Esdras 15. Right? 2nd Esdras 15, because famine is it's like not famine, but pestilence. Famine and pestilence really are just one of many things that the Lord puts on the earth to scourge it, to judge it, So these things are going to come around again, right? We've seen that big event that happened in 2020, 2021, right? That was a shocking thing because we never seen anything like that. But these different things are going to happen. But just imagine that happening while it's a famine, right? While it's war going on, right? All these things happening, right? That's going to be even greater, right? So it says 2nd Esdras 15, and I'm going to start at, let's just start at 15, and I'm going to jump around. So 2nd Esdras 15 and 1. Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people in the words of prophecy which I will put in thy mouth, said the Lord, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. Fear not the imaginations against thee. Let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee. For all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. Behold, said the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. Right. So this is what the Lord is going to bring on this world for all the wickedness this world is getting into. Right. He's gonna send. What does it say? It says plagues, right? Which are what we're seeing, these pestilences, Hantavirus. Upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction, right? So you're going to have wars, rumors of war, you're going to have famines, you're going to have death and destruction, right? So you're going to have many different things going on at once that's going to be putting this world in chaos and turmoil that's going to cause people to lose their minds, man. Not to mention sedition, right? These laws that are being implemented right now in the world, they're going to cause the people to even go more crazier and crazier to where at the end of the day, it's going to just be a sedition, So it says, behold, said the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. For wickedness have exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their horrible works are fulfilled, right? So we understand why the Lord is doing this. See, the people of the earth, when they see these different things, they don't understand why this is happening. Even if they say, okay, it could be a conspiracy, they still don't understand why is these things on the earth. See, we understand that it's because the Lord is fed up with this place and he's finna get ready to death this place, right? We understand that the elect have to be sealed, and what's been going on. We've been in a part of prophecy where the word is being preached. So we understand that time for the word to be preached is only for a limited time. And we understand that because the scriptures talk about a famine of the word, when the word will no longer go out. So we understand when the word no longer goes out, that means that's when the full destruction is about to pop off, right? So we've seen these little things, get worse and worse. Gradually we start to see more and more things that's going to lead to this great destruction. Whereas the other people, they really don't see it, or they don't really understand why. See, we understand the reason why this is going on. They probably see certain things, but they really don't understand why it's really going on. They don't understand the real reason of these things. They just say, well, it's just, I guess that's the elites. That's what they want to do. But the scriptures say the devil's going to come down having great wrath, knowing but he have a short time. Right, so all these things have to play into what's going on right now. It says, for wickedness have exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. Therefore said the Lord, I will hold my tongue I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness, which they profanely committed, neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold, the innocent and righteous blood crieth unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually. And therefore said the Lord, I will surely avenge them, and receive unto me all the innocent blood from among them. Behold, my people is led to a flock to the slaughter. I will not suffer them to dwell in the land of Egypt, but I will bring them with a mighty hand and stretch out arm and smite Egypt with plagues as before, and I will destroy all the land thereof. Right. So we understand that this place right here in Revelation the 11th chapter is called spiritual Sodom in Egypt. Right. So we understand this place that we live in right now, which is Babylon the Great, it is spiritually Egypt, right? Because the children of Israel went into captivity in this land, right? So we're not talking about the ancient Egypt, but we're talking about the new age Egypt, or spiritual Egypt, which is Babylon the Great. And that's the place that the Lord is going to smite with plagues, right? So it says, but I will bring them with a mighty hand and stretch out arm and smite Egypt with plagues as before, and I will destroy all the land thereof. Right. So this is what's going on. Right. So now we know the reason why the Lord is going to do this. So the people of the earth who are still trying to figure out what's going on and is it going to get better, we understand that this is going to happen until all hell breaks loose, until the Son of Man comes back. Right. We understand that. That's when things are going to get better, when this whole place is destroyed, right? The scriptures say the day of doom is the beginning of immortality, which is to come, right? So the doom that has to happen to this place is a great thing for us, because in the day of doom, that's when the elect get beamed up out of here. So we need the day of doom to happen. That's why we're hastening the coming of the Son of Man, right? We're hastening the end of this world, this end of this kingdom, this wicked kingdom, and we're praying Yahweh Shem Shai brings the kingdom of heaven, that much faster, man. Right. So it says, Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with plagues and punishment that God shall bring upon it. Right. So these different plagues, these different viruses, these are things that are going to come on earth in these last days. So we shouldn't be surprised when we see more of these things. Right. It's going to be more and more deaths. Right. Everything kind of seems like, if you really watching, you see things are happening. They're definitely happening right now. You see laws are being implemented. You see wars are brewing up, but people on the earth can still kind of be in a complacent type of mindset, because it hasn't hit home yet. It hasn't hit home yet. Like the gas prices might be a little higher, right? But it hasn't hit their wallets just yet, right? Once famine starts kicking in the land, once Esau Edom starts to make his great move, his big move, right? That's when you're going to see the people start to panic. Right, they're okay. Now it's gonna get their attention. So we're just warning the people before these things come to pass. It says they that till the ground shall mourn, for the seed shall fail through the blasting in hell, and with a fearful constellation. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein. Right, and this is going into the sedition. We kind of understand this is going to happen, the famine, the great tribulation, and things like that. But just want to go into that because pestilence is always a part of the end time judgments of Babylon the Great. When you read these scriptures, right? It's always a part of these different judgments, right? It says, Ecclesiasticus 40:9, death and bloodshed, strife and sword, calamities and famine, tribulations and the scourge, these things are created for the wicked, and for their sakes came the flood. Right? So all these things that we're going to see on the earth, they're really created for the wicked of the earth. Right? So plagues, they're a part of those scourges. Right? It says calamities. Right? Does not plagues bring forth calamities? Right? Scripture says it's going to be people dead from one end of the earth even to the other. Right, so there's going to be a lot of death in these last days. Not to mention, World War III and how many people are going to die going over there to fight. Right, so we're going to see more and more of these things. Right, we're not supposed to be surprised. We're supposed to expect these things, prepare ourselves spiritually. And Lord willing, the Lord brings these prophecies come to pass even faster. So with that, I want to give all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh Bashim Al Shai. And next time, Lord willing, shalom.